Our first pick sees 18th place Burnley playing host to 15th place Leeds, and Burnley, they travelled to Aston Villa in their last game, falling behind after 25 minutes as Kamara's defence-splitting pass found Marlon, and he tucked away for the 1-0 lead going into half-time. And the second half started off very much with Aston Villa in control, so it was not too much of a surprise to anyone to see Aston Villa double their lead, as Donyell Marlon was given way too much space in the box and he finished across the goalkeeper to complete his brace. Ugochukwu for Burnley managed to get a goal back in the 78th minute, but this would prove to only be a consolation goal. 2-1 Aston Villa the final score. Taking a look at the numbers, this probably was the correct result. Aston Villa had slightly more of the ball and around 3 times the amount of shots and around 3 times the amount of XG compared to Burnley. And to be honest, if you're only going to produce 0.4 expected goals, you can't really complain when you lose the match. In terms of form, it's now back-to-back Premier League losses for Burnley and no win in 5 since their 2-0 win against Sunderland back in late August. It's certainly relegation form, and that goes a long way to explaining why they find themselves in 18th. They host a Leeds side who were beaten last time around in their match against Tottenham Hotspurs. Matthias Tell's opener was cancelled out by Noah Okafor's equaliser, which saw both sides go into the break level. However, it would be Spurs that retook the lead with Mohamed Kudus in the 57th minute. They managed to keep hold of their lead for a 2-1 final score. And this result really was disappointing for Leeds fans, especially when we take a look at the numbers. They were far the better team, but failed to make their chances count, and really the blame could probably be laid at goalkeeper Carl Darlow's feet, as from Spurs' 9 shots, only 3 were on target and 2 found the back of the net. On a different day, he maybe could have kept 1 or 2 of them out and seen Leeds pick up some points. That result for Leeds means it's 1 win, 1 draw and 1 defeat in their last 3 Premier League games, which isn't too bad at all and could see Leeds survive the drop. However, just a single win from their last 6 does leave something to be desired. When we take a look at the head-to-head records, the last encounter between these sides took place in January, back in the Championship. The score finished 0-0, and to be honest, it was a really poor game, lacking any real quality, with both sides combining for just 0.55 expected goals. That draw added to their win earlier in the season saw Burnley take 4 points away from Leeds, in a season which saw both sides earn automatic promotion to the Premier League. My prediction for today's game is that both sides will view this match as the classic relegation 6-pointer, and I feel they will both fancy their chances to pick up a good result here. As such, I see both sides flying forwards in the hunt for goals, instead of sitting back and trying to hang on for a result. As such, I'm looking for both teams to score. Burnley have seen both teams to score in each of their last 3 Premier League games, whereas Leeds, they've also seen both teams to score in each of their last 3 Premier League matches. However, when we take a look at the head-to-head record, neither of the 2 Championship encounters last season saw both teams to score, but there have been a number of changes to both sides since then, so I'm not putting too much stock in these results. I would go for a full stake here, but following an international break, teams often get off to a slow start on their return, so I will be backing both teams to score, but only for a half stake here in bet number 1.